Hey, Dutch, wanted to try to give you a little bit of insight for your first proposal going out to a client. Um, we do quite a bit of what I like to call data reconstruction or projects where we're rebuilding the financials for a company over a larger period of time. Now, the exciting thing about projects like that really has to do with the fact that kind of the bigger the project, the more fun it can be. People are creatures of habit. So if you can start to look at the data as just more of like a data set, you can get through it and you can process it a little bit quicker. The way we do that is we usually grab all the financial transactions from the bank. We figure the bank is the best place. It's, statements, everything else, it's going to be true. And we're going to combine it all into a single Excel sheet. Now, we've developed some pretty fancy tools with macros that help us kind of process the data pretty quickly. But I wanted to try to give you somewhat of an example, and I can even upload this template without the data in, of course, as something you're welcome to use, of course. The purpose of it is you've got a couple columns here. The first one would be the ID number, which literally is just a sorting feature. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way down through the whole thing. The next column, what we do is we use that to actually signify the differences of the different accounts, because what you're gonna do is take all the transactions for the different accounts and combine them all onto one single sheet. So I'm hoping the Excel stuff that you were saying that they were keeping is broken out per bank account, or really you should go straight to the bank anyways. Download all the transactions straight from the bank, use that as your primary source, and then use whatever information that they provide you as like supporting data. Because if you're summarizing a business, money in the bank, money out of the bank, okay? Obviously, you have to take into account if there's any cash expenses, receipts they have, and just to make sure everybody's appeased, cash basis versus accrual basis as well. But you would take all the transactions for one account, copy it right into the sheet. You've got your date, your check number, your memo. You'd have an empty area for your payee and your category here that you would be trying to suss that out and try to figure out the right names for everything and the right categories. And then you're either going to have a spent and received columns, or you're going to have a combined amount column where it's the positives and negatives all combined together. So the reason we do it this way, and you put each of the accounts in, you have it nice and organized, you can then come in, go to your memo, and go and sort A to Z, okay? Now by doing that, you're going to notice my ID numbers are all out of whack, out of sync. You'll also notice we have different like account numbers showing up all over the place. But what you do have at this point is all of the like memos right next to each other. So that means it's easy to get in here and see, okay, well, that's supposed to be 7-Eleven, control copy, control paste down. Or if it's ADP payroll, you could go like this, find the like items, control copy, and control paste. So the goal being that you can start to get through some of this stuff a little bit faster. Now, ultimately, part of the goal of doing it this way is you're trying to generate a unique list of vendor names out of this process. Once you have that unique list of vendor names, you can now go back and you could actually assign a category once per vendor and then use Excel to help repopulate onto each time it sees that vendor the proper category through the next column. And now you're kind of making a relationship between them. The next step from that is you need to get this information into QuickBooks Online. The reason we do it in Excel first is I feel that we can process the data faster in Excel and then import it using specialized like CSV to QBO converters or our own personal tool, Vendor Sync. You can use tools like that to convert the data over to a QBO file, which you can then import into QuickBooks Online. And if you populate in a payee name onto the file when you make that QBO, that payee name will actually show up if you have that same list of names imported into QuickBooks Online. So it kind of makes it a little bit easier. You can at that point also create bank rules to be able to capture all the information, or use the batch batch edit in QuickBooks Online when you're just pulling them in for the bank feed. I know this video is probably only going to show you a minor portion of what it really takes to do these rebuilds real quickly, but I'm hoping that at least it gives you a little bit of structure, a different way to look at the process itself, and hopefully help save you a bit of time. If you're interested to learn more, feel free to reach out. You can do a private message to me, and I can share some other tips and tricks that we've done, and see how we can just kind of share some of the knowledge. So I hope this part of the process helps you out a little bit. And best of luck with that first proposal, okay?